There are two types of beings in the universe. Those who dance and those who do not.
Things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child things.
The MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy entangled audiences with its gripping and often cheeky story that simply oozed style and pop cultural charm. Lighthearted, climactic, fantastically self-referential. We could go on, but you get the idea. After all, this is the same movie franchise that welcomed audiences with a shot of a Sony Walkman and Redbone's Come and Get Your Love playing during its intro sequence. In fact, Peter Quill's mixtape would end up being way more significant than audiences initially expected. Director James Gunn wanted to communicate a particular atmosphere with the audio-visual presentation, and what better way to do that than by including a 70s soundtrack for a 70s-inspired space flick. But did you know, that same playlist that the Marvel community wanted to get rid of so badly eventually made it as its very own album. This creative decision would influence the sequel as well. Sneepers, a race of aliens that Gunn wanted to include, ended up having their name used for a fictional band featuring David Hasselhoff? Because of course it would. The Sneepers ended up covering a disco version of Tyler Bates' Guardians of the Galaxy theme with lyrics written by James Gunn. Now if that's not meta, we don't know what is. As usual for Gunn, the fun didn't end there. Fittingly enough, the title of the track itself is Inferno, a subtle reference to the cult classic musical Disco Inferno. There's even a nice callback to the second movie in the accompanying music video. In Volume 2, Gamora mixed up David Hasselhoff's name as Zardu Hasselfrau, and wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what he is introduced as in the video. The last shot of Hasselhoff dramatically narrating the last lines was a last-minute improvisation from James Gunn, who shot it on his own phone. While Volume 2's name itself is a super obvious reference to comic book volumes, did you also know that the film goes by a different name in Japan? Indeed, The Land of the Rising Sun got the second entry as Guardians of the Galaxy Remix to fit the series' musical influence. It gets even better when you realize that in the Japanese dub of the movie, Mantis is voiced by a famed Japanese singer, Sayaka Kimoto, a member of the idol group AKB48. Voice actors who've dabbled in music are also featured in the original version. For example, pop singer Miley Cyrus plays Mainframe in one of the post-credit scenes, but is kept uncredited in the final release. In earlier stages of the sequel's development, there were even plans to include the world-renowned David Bowie as a potential voice actor for one of Yondu's crew members. Ultimately, the idea was dropped after the musician's unfortunate death.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine...
Has all this musical trivia jogged your minds as much as it did your bodies? Music and dancing go hand in hand like peanut butter and intergalactic jelly, so notes don't have to end with the tunes if you catch our drift. In fact, meta-wise, certain character traits of Gamora and Drac were written with irony in mind. Gamora's claim of not being able to dance in the first film is expanded into straight-up distaste, which is the opposite of the actress who plays her. Zoe Saldana was actually a passionate ballet dancer at one point, and she is not the only multi-talented one on the team. Dave Bautista was a former breakdancer, which makes his character Drac's hatred for dancing all the more hilarious. While the same cannot be said for Chris Pratt, who plays the leading hero of the franchise, it's worth mentioning that the goofball from Parks and Recreation took method acting one step further by specifically requesting his character Star-Lord's mixtape so that he could work out with it and get a feel for his character. So, how did all of this trivia sound to you? If there's any other pop culture or music reference or piece of trivia you know, be sure to tell us in the comment section below. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more fun facts, in-depth trivia, and breakdowns of behind-the-scenes knowledge from movies and shows, among other things. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.